Good afternoon, and welcome to video 2 of Life of a Black Man. So, what we're doing today is something different. We are in DC, and it's a little community gathering out here, right?
Farmers market.
Farmers market. Okay, and I'm with another guy from my group. His name is Darius. Darius is brilliant, very intelligent. He's a good expert, and I don't even know if you can be a good expert. You're just a fucking expert, right? So he's very knowledgeable in his area. So I'm gonna let him talk to y'all about what he knows. Oh, another thing I want to point out is why people saying, hey, the hood is so bad, and I wouldn't want to live there. It's crime and all that stuff. And guess what you don't see out here? Crime, right? Because that's a lot of what people are harping on when it comes to black people. Crime, crime, crime. But what you don't see out here is crime. So I'm gonna kick it over to my man Darius. This is him.
Hey everybody. So I'm Darius Richardson of Engel and Volkers. We are pretty much a luxury boutique, offer the same kind of service for all price points. We're out of Vienna, Virginia, hopefully moving to DC soon. I'm licensed here in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and I work in commercial, residential, even investment. You name it, I've probably touched it. And mainly, I try to be a master of my community. I work a lot in Southeast, which is where I live, and try to, put as many people into homes as possible. Try to get you more house for your money. And I'm here with Willie, just showing them around, but also taking any questions that he may have. I work a lot with first-time home buyers. If you are or know somebody that might be interested in looking for a home in DC, Maryland, Virginia, first-time home buyer programs that'll pay you pretty much to get into the home. I'm your guy. I can be reached. I'm sure he'll put it in the comments.
Yeah. So a lot of times people are just not knowledgeable of what they can get for their money. A lot of people are not knowledgeable of what they can get for their time, for their talents, their expertise, their education. And when you know what is available to you, then you tend to not accept less. That's just how it is. If a person knows that he is worth $1 million an hour, $1 million a year, whatever the case may be, why would you accept minimum wage job? Would you see somebody like Bill Gates accepting a minimum wage job? No, because he knows he's worth more. And that's the same thing that my man Darius is trying to tell people about. We're trying to educate people on what they can get for their money. So that way you don't stop and say, hey, look, this is all I'm limited to. This is all that's available to me. When you see yourself as better, then you look for better. You want better. You need better. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. So Darius, what's the best way for someone to not be cheated out of their money when they're going into the market?
So one, you want to know exactly what you want. If you don't want something, let the agent know, so that we're not wasting your time and we're not wasting our time. If you want to go to distressed properties, let the agent know about it, so that we'll only focus on those kinds of homes. If you have a situation where you want fresh renovations, let us know. But it's also one thing to know for certain that you have to do you should do before you meet up with us, is you should at least be in a mindset that, hey, there's some money I need to put aside that are required of me for my transaction. So we're talking your EMD, which is your earnest money deposit. It can be anywhere from like $500 to whatever. Rule of thumb usually is like 1% of the listing price or the purchase price. You also need some money put away for inspection. The highest I've seen people pay for an inspection was about $500, so $500 or less. Appraisal, you need appraisal money. But on top of all of that, you need to find a reliable lender who will work with your situation and give you a favorable interest rate, a good pre-approval. Let's try not to go visit homes that you're not pre-approved for. You don't want to go visit $1 million home when you can only afford $300,000. Then you get your hopes up. So yeah.
So when should they start saving money?
So I mean, I would say save. If you don't have the means to save money, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck. One way to also you can reach into your 401k. There's not too many tax ramifications if it's a real estate transaction. You can dig into that. You can get a gift from a relative or a friend, but the thing with a gift is it has to be traceable. That person has to be willing to show where that money came from. We don't want a mob scenario where cash is untraceable.
It'd be horrible.
Yeah. There's just many avenues to, even if you can't save.
So what about credit?
So credit, you can have as low as 580 get you a home, but you have to realize that your credit score will dictate what your interest rate might be. So FHA will do as low as 580. You can get a home. And at some point when your credit starts to rise, you can refinance. And the way to just go about that is try not to spend beyond your means once you get in. And you can go good territory, just as rule of thumb, is 640, about 640 or better.
Yeah. So that's what I was explaining to someone, I think the other day. A lot of times people, they want to try to live beyond their means, try to impress other people with material things like clothes and stuff like that. Why? Yes, I have clothes in my closet, but I don't worry about that stuff because I like my house. I'd rather be in a nice, comfortable house than I would be in some clothes that cost what, thousands of dollars? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I know this chick that spent $800 on a pair of red bottom shoes, and she lives in an apartment. Does that make sense? Nah. Do the math, people. Do the math. All right. So a question I have is about investing in real estate. We see a lot of people that buy homes and whatever the area may be, they renovate the house and then they sell it for way more than what they bought it for. How can we get up on that?
So one of the easiest ways to get a loan, you can get a loan, you can use cash, you can use pretty much other people's money to get into these homes. You could even use your equity if you have a home currently. One of the ways in which you can do it, one funding strategy would be the bank. So if you go to the bank, first of all, you got to have good credit. To get a line of credit from them that you can dig into constantly, and when you have come up upon a deal, you can present that as your proof of funds, and that type of transaction can probably close in maybe 20 days or less. Another option is the hard money lender route. And the hard money lender, these are private people who are able to allocate money. They're registered, most of them are registered with the SEC, and so they're traceable. But with them comes higher interest rates. Now your loan might be easier to obtain because it's probably collateral based. So something's tied to it. It's probably going to be the property of purchase.
No, okay. So you use the property as a collateral for that same property.
So a lot of these are considered. So a lot of private money lenders will give you what we call asset-based loans. So you need something to trade back to them, since they're not trying to pull your credit. They're not going to pull your credit. Nothing's attached to that.
So if they can't get their money
to take away from you, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look if they can't get their money, they get in the property. They're gonna get something, okay?
Absolutely.
But we're trying to defeat that.
Right.
We don't want anybody going to get a house or a property and then not being able to pay for it.
So here's what you do. So to avoid all of that, you got to be prepared. When you go to these homes, do a traditional viewing of the home. Walk around, take notes of what may need to be fixed, or even do one better, bring a contractor with you, someone who is experienced, can eyeball a situation and tell you how much is going to go into rebuilding that home. You don't want to get into a situation where you present a lender packet with all the specifics of your deal and you get into the home and don't know what to do. You want to have a statement of work, something that all your contractors can follow, a plan that's probably a layout plan that probably came from an architect or something. You just need to surround yourself with people who are capable of putting together this project seamlessly, because time is being wasted, time's of the essence, and money, most of the time, money is going to be wasted if you don't act proactively. The typical timeline for hard money loans is very short term. It's very rare you're going to get one for a year.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at like 6 months or less.
Good to go. Yeah. So I recently bought my first home, and when I bought my first home, like I went all out. I did. Not trying to brag about it or anything, because I didn't know anything about the market of buying a home. I didn't until somebody schooled me up on it. Someone educated me on it and said, "Hey, no, listen, don't do that. Don't go low. Don't meet these low standards. Get out of those low standard kind of things, okay? Think of yourself way up here of what you deserve, the things that you work for, stuff like that, and say, hey, look, okay, it's just not worth it to me to be living under what I deserve. Under. Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay.
All right. Hey, I hope I can get your face on the video. You. Okay then.